Going. What's up? So nudged. Yeah, okay. Right. Else running. You don't need to be running. Is fine. And get rid of that. Later. Okay. Right. So. Yeah, but it's good. It's good. Running. Okay, so it is Thursday. And it's time to stream once again. I thought that what I'd do is I'm not gonna hop back into a long form sort of stream, like full game, yet. I thought what I would do is I'd play this today, and then Tuesday I'll start up a new longer stream game, which I have to figure out what I want to play. That's a bigger question. I could play Far Cry 6, I could play Valhalla. I just got to figure that out. I mean, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Oh, no, it's Valheim's the thing I was thinking. I was getting confused with. But let us instead play FTL. So I've already done. I really enjoy playing FTL. I've already done a fair bit. So I've got a lot of sort of the base, a lot of the other ones. And what I've been trying to do is trying to do this one, the Mantis Cruiser. So obviously either I've got to go and find him to unlock the ship, or I can try and defeat him with the flagship. Defeat the flagship with the Zoltan Cruiser. So I've been trying to do the Zoltan Cruiser, because I still actually haven't completed it with the Zoltan Cruiser either. The issue to do. Right, so I've got all three versions. So there's one with a halberd beam and a missile, one with a pike beam and 2 ion blasts, which is okay, but I feel like the pike beam's a bit weak in later areas. There's then this one, which has the ion charge and the beam, which baffles me. I've tried using it, I didn't do very well with it. The best I've done has either been with A or B. I kind of like A just for the halberd beam. So, I'll take that one. Right. Med Bay. Use the halberd beam in a fight. And so with the Zoltan Cruiser, I want to basically try to get a non-Zoltan crew member early on. Whatever. Because at the moment this Zoltan being at the front in the captain's chair is completely useless. The problem. That's a good thing. The halberd beam is a 2 damage beam weapon, so it will break through any shield at the beginning and do some damage. Let's quickly extinguish those flames. The problem with the Zoltans is they're not very quick to repair things. What I usually try and do, if I can, I'm gonna jump before I get hit again. What I usually try to do is get something like a fire suppression system that can I'm going to send him to get healed. He's there. Still going, that's fine. The problem with the Harbour Beam is very slow. Do that. If a fire starts up on the ship, I usually just vent the oxygen out of the room and get rid of it. I also do that for I get invaded. Oh. Can't be held responsible for that one. Attack that pirate. I did say that I was going to read those things I should be doing instead of my normal immediate clicking through. Yeah, so you have to interesting. So I'm gonna go get the reconstructor teleport. I'm gonna take that because I can probably sell the reconstructor teleport for else. I need to look and see if the company who makes this and makes Into the Breach has made anything else recently, because I really don't know if they have. I haven't seen anything new. I am gonna shift this guy from because with the meteors still coming through, having a slightly increased shield will be helpful. Now, still keep forgetting to read any of what actually is going on. Had a good couple of days. Finally sat down to watch through the Easter episode of Doctor Who, which was okay. I really didn't find myself caring too much. I really don't care for the fact they're doing this romance with Yaz and the Doctor in Doctor Who, and I just have never really cared ever about that. Like I've just in any previous one from the new Who, because I've not really watched anything past that. I've watched a little bit of like some of the older Doctor Who, but enough to really have full opinions on it. But I didn't mind it in the first season of Doctor Who with the new Who stuff, where it was Christopher Eccleston, Billy Piper, because it was like, oh right, so this is a new interesting way they're going to take it. But then it was every single season of Doctor Who since the new season started has been, oh look, a romance subplot. I don't care. I found it funny, as I think very other people did, when Peter Capaldi was cast and people were complaining. It's like, oh, I don't find the Doctor attractive anymore. It's like, who cares? It's not the point of the character. Okay, the ship's well-known slave trader. He has an office slavers cheap. Okay, I don't tend to buy slaves. I tend to attack and hope that they'll give me one of the slaves. Because if I do that, that will actually be very useful for the ship. I could have just freed him. Not wasting perfectly good scrap. I can just burn these people. Given what they're doing, probably a better idea to someone protecting the end. Okay. But no, I didn't know with Doctor Who for the Easter stuff. I find it too interesting. I don't know what it was, but just something about it really didn't care too much. Still have enjoyed Jodie Whittaker playing the Doctor, but it's, yeah. I think the novelty of sort of the Doctor and a companion is just not thing. They need to kind of try and write some different stuff. I mean, even with Karen Gillian, her thing, despite that they then went the opposite direction, so and had the whole thing of Amy and Rory, was still a whole thing of her liking the Doctor. And it's just like, we get it. I should try and watch some stuff. I think I saw bits and pieces of it once, but never really been a thing on my list. Yep, but I also last night played D&D and Dragons for the first time in a while. Actually, has to have been, what's the date today? 4th. I'd probably say like 6 months, maybe 7. I haven't played it for a while, and I really had fun with it. Like I just. The reason I stopped playing D&D was just because I was I used to run sort of Wednesday games, the sort of Venture League stuff, but I got kind of discouraged with it, and I wasn't enjoying it a lot. Like I don't really care for the higher up tier stuff for Venture League. I don't think it's great a lot of the time. There's just some weird ass choices. So I sort of stopped. I decided to stop running it. I kind of just fell off playing, and there was a game I used to play on Mondays, which the issue became that I was happier on a Monday when it would turn out we weren't playing than it would turn out we were playing, which kind of shows the problem that I was not happy. Game. But then I also got pissed off with 2 other people playing it, so helped cement my thought of I'm going to stop playing this. Okay, go across the rubble of a scout ship, soon civilian ship, weapons engaged. It's civilian ship, because these I can destroy with no problems. But yeah, so I played D&D last night. Went from about 7 until. Got up towards 11 o'clock because we played it online, so you didn't have to go anywhere, didn't have to do anything else. I just sat and played it, and it was fun. I became everything I hated. Became it very quickly, because I was playing a fairy wizard. Because I don't tend to play full-on spellcasters all the time. I tend to play. Like various other stuff, I don't tend to play full-on spellcasters. Usually a combination of stuff. And I spent most of the first combat that we had against 4 these they were Remora, which were Remoras? Yeah, it's Remoras. There's a Z in there. And basically, the creature, if you hit them, you took damage because they would belch fire out at you, essentially. And I was a squishy wizard and knew I didn't want to get close to them, but I'm also a squishy wizard who can fly because of the fairy abilities. So I basically stayed a good, I think it was like 20 foot in the air, just refused to come down. But obviously, being a wizard, you have range, so I stayed in the air and would throw out various spells, cantrips, other stuff to cover the rest of the team, who were all, unfortunately, like sort of melee fighters to a degree. Which actually was the other issue as well. Our entire team, I had a look to see what other people were playing because I was joining in late. And basically, I could see already like what they had, or what I assumed they had. You can make assumptions based on teams, but just by what they've got. And I could see they had no full-on spell casting. I went wizard. I did the it was a new one, new subclass for wizards from, I think it's from Tyas. I think it's the most sort of recent major source book. Because Fizzbands is interesting, but it's not major in some of the other bits and pieces in comparison. And there is a subset of wizards now, which are really interesting. Quite enjoyed them. Which is Order of the Scribes. And Order of the Scribes, basically, it's quick of you to sort of do stuff like copy down spells, things like that, which is useful in sort of larger role-playing mechanics. But one of the abilities they have, really fun, is basically if you cast a spell, you can then look at your if you cast a spell at a higher level, you can look at any other spell you have at that higher level, and you can take the damage type from it. And so it meant constantly throughout the fights, I was switching the damage types of regular spells. Like I was using stuff like Scorching Ray, which is supposed to do fire damage. I had doing necrotic damage, stuff like that. It was really interesting, really fun. It's definitely one of those ones where it becomes less about having the right spell damage for the job in comparison to, say, having just the right style of spell, which I really kind of like. If I keep going with that character, I keep trying to play some of the other stuff and get them higher up, I probably will try and do that. Like I'll try and get it balanced out where I've got everything. Because that's what I've done. Like, if I cast a first level spell, I can just use any damage, basically. If I cast a second level spell, I can also do any damage. If I cast a third, I can currently do Fire, Thunder, Radiant, Necrotic, and Cold. How ridiculous it's become. I do. I enjoy playing D&D. And there's ship stations around the rest stop. You see a message and you look ready to fill your ship. You've come to the right place. The only thing is, let you see the stats. Would be quite nice to see. See, it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to hire a mantis. Partly because having like a spread of characters is really useful. But also because mantises are stronger fighters in comparison to everyone else, so it would balance out. So I think I might spend. Let's get Magmar. Tell. It's just due to the fact that the Zoltans are not great for fighting. They're not like the weakest. They're not terrible, but they're just not. Yeah, they've got less health as well, so they can't really take the fight. And immediately it was a very good idea. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these. Because what's going to start happening is they'll break through the door. When they break through the door, seal back up, win them. With the oxygen. They've already been slightly weakened. All I have to do is make sure any of my characters are going to die. Quickly moving them away from any. It's just yeah, I'm just gonna wait, get across there, close that up, open these. We'll start trying to escape. There we go. That goes. Now you're doing the venting trick, it works. I would always say, like, if you can, just increase the doors on your ship just ever so slightly, because then you can just vent out the oxygen. You can intruders when they're trying to get in. Another unmanned ship patrols the area. Ship best for combat. As FTL driver this way, though, no, don't want to. It's fine. Yep. What I'll do is I purposely target the control room, shields, and engine. So that should stop the FTL as soon as it hits. The only issue. But that's the only problem with this. The Halberd beam. It's very slow, and even when you get increased charge time stuff, it's still slow. Again, try and disable the guns of the drone. The drone isn't a problem on its own. It was the gun that was doing. The gun was popping my shield, and it was popping the shield. I was able to get through. I should use some of my scrap to upgrade my ship. I've just not done it yet. Okay, let's try and get a sector in. Another ship, source ship, suddenly jumps in the system. Clears rushes criminals, keys you scope, fugitive for weapons. Ah, yeah. I've been playing D&D there now. Since college. Like, can't remember if it was the first or sort of second year of college. I'm trying to even think. I don't know, but I'm going to be playing about 9-10 years, somewhat close to that. I was certainly playing it before I went to university. That was 2014. I'd probably say, yeah, for about 10 years. Probably 9 to 10 years. And it's weird to think about it as well. Like, it was consistently and has remained because it's like just a thing I've gone and done. It's the most social that I generally am. So just it's there. Oops. Only hit shift. Okay. I'm not hitting the button I'm thinking it. I thought I was hitting control. I wasn't. I was hitting the Windows key. Kept opening the. Kept bringing me back to my desktop. I know. I've not got. It's funny though. One of the things I do quite often is I go onto the subreddit for RPG horror stories, and I'll have a read through various stuff, and I'll, gives me advice on basically how to deal with certain things if I need to. I've never been in a situation playing D&D where I've had to really deal with anyone problematic. And a lot of the time, it can be very direct and very as forceful as I might need to be. Sell, destructive teleport anywhere people. Maybe use the teleport. Tail might not be a bad idea, actually. Just because we've not really got super useful. Really have to. Well, upgrade shit. But yeah, I've not really ever had any issues with anyone at D&D. Like, I've gotten annoyed at people and sort of pissed off, and that's just the way it is. You're dealing with other people, you're gonna have issues, essentially. And about it, literally the worst sort of story I can possibly think of in regards to D&D, dealing with people. Well, basically one of two. Unarmed auto-transfer vessel is slowly making its way towards the beacon here. They hail. This is Zoltan Peace Envoy. We carried our weapons shielding and rely on the mercy of others to communicate our message. We have a Zoltan ship. Okay. Okay. But the only two stories I've got is the one when I was running a game, and basically there was a new person playing, and they were very obviously wanted to do a very specific thing. But they had a very sort of set goal in mind, but they weren't really sort of immersing themselves in the story, stuff like that. They didn't really seem to care. And then towards the end of it, because if you go and play the Adventure League stuff, I always think it's a very good way to get in to D&D, because the stuff's very it's very linear, it's very focused, and I think that really does work to teach people the ins and outs of playing. Then you can go on later on, you can do the various other bits and pieces as needed. But the issue was with the guy who was playing, was that he obviously wanted to do something very specific, and they wanted towards the end of the module to try and join the Thieves Guild, because they were in a major sort of city, so there's Thieves Guild there. But obviously with the linear nature of the Adventure League stuff, you can't really do that. You don't really have that freedom of choice. And the thing we were playing, because this was back in around the time when we were shifting from 4th edition to 5th edition. Because the module, which was was the Murder at Baldur's Gate, I think it was, or something. Because the module was so widespread and sort of what could happen, I was taking a very linear approach to it, because that way I could craft a story and people could enjoy the story of it without having to wonder what to do, and because then it ran as it was supposed to. Makes sense. But they basically got annoyed that this was after just constantly pushing through, constantly doing everything. But they got annoyed at the end that they couldn't go and join the Thieves Guild. I explained to them, you wouldn't know where it is. Like, you can't. It's not just a thing you can go and sign up to. It's a frickin' Thieves Guild. If you do not, it's not a country club. Just go and sign up. And then later on, when the game had finished and we'd all got home, and sort of like we had a Facebook group and we sort of that. The guy who runs the Facebook group saying, hope everyone had fun, and he complained about me. It was a very brief sort of comment, which in comparison to some sort of RPG horror stories, it's tame in comparison. But I still thought that was kind of shitty in a way, because he's, it's still, because one, he didn't use my name or anything, but it's still that moment of like, well, I know who you're talking about because you were the player on my table. It's not hard to know who you must mean. But the thing that was actually worse was that he'd only really played one game before that. And he then decided to do... Well, it was a big attack, so I completely blanked. But the issue was he then had 2 friends who he'd brought with, which, that's perfectly fine. I started playing D&D because someone else wanted. But then the second week, after this incident, and after obviously, I didn't cater to their whims, he decided not to come. And you go, okay, well, that's, not too big a loss. The actual issue was that he decided not to come, and so neither did his friends, which meant suddenly a table of 5 people was down to a table of just 2. So we had issues, and that's that's the sort of kind of the crap that I don't like seeing in regards to D&D. Like, I don't enjoy seeing someone commit to coming to one game and then not set. And that was the other thing, they didn't say they weren't coming either. He's perfectly easy to do so, but just decided not to. And that's the thing that's the thing that bugs me. No message or anything like that. And that is the extent, really. That's the extent of any sort of like quote unquote horror story that I could possibly even attempt to tell in regards to D&D. I did have a second other issue where there was a DM who was, I don't know, he was a bit odd in some ways, but that was about it. Like, it was just certain choices that he decided to do, some of that. Like, a weird moment where I rolled high on a persuasion check, like really, really high, and yet he just was like, "Oh no, you've not achieved it." It's like, right, weird, and I brought it up later, and it should have been. But the thing that was weird, the thing he tended to do was that he made certain choices which I found a bit odd. Like he was sort of like a bit of an older guy, so he had daughter who came and played, who I've also seen since in a long time either. But at one point when he was explaining how I'm gonna get destroyed. I'm trying to do myself doing this one. Like in explaining how a character was being grabbed, and it might have been his daughter's character, I can't fully remember actually. He decided to actually physically act it out, and so he ended up briefly putting his daughter in a headlock, which was very weird. So that was one thing, and then I don't know if it was the same game. It might not have been, but I tend to play female characters when I play D&D. Just to have, I don't know, balances out. But oddly, he had a character, like an NPC, where we were playing in this session, and I later played that exact same bit, and I can. He chose to do this for some reason. This is his idea, because it does not show it in the module. Like, he chose to have this character flirting with mine, rather sort of heavy-handedly in the worst sort of way, and it's just it was just weird. It was really weird. It's just why you do this? Why you think this acceptable? It is not. But yeah. And then he just, stopped turning up and was over again. Because that is the way things happen with D&D sometimes. Just people disappear. Off into the ether. But yeah. That was the... But that's about as far as I could possibly get to sort of say, oh yeah, this is sort of the quote-unquote horror story. But that's about it. Like, the only reason I stopped playing the game on Monday was just because I was getting fed up with... Well, I had fell out with one of the people who I was playing with, and I began not to be able to stand the another person who I was playing with because they kept basically commenting on what I was doing and stuff like that. Like it just got really, really, really irritating to me, and I couldn't stand. Like every time they did it, it just annoyed me. And I've done it. Like I've done the same thing. And it's not great, and I try and rein myself in from doing it. Like when I played the other day, I had the urge to sort of say certain things and stuff that's because I would know because I've DM'd games and stuff like that. But I kept my sort of instead I kept myself in check this time, and I didn't do that. If we had like a ruling that had to be questioned, whether there was an issue about I can't remember where to look up. It was something about whether you could do something. Oh, it was whether a certain spell affected druids, which it didn't. Discovered, but that was about it. But that is a habit. Like I will constantly. If we have one of those moments, because obviously we've been sat here, usually I've got my phone or my iPad or something, shop. I'll go and search. I'll try and find out the answer to the question because I like doing it. And I do know that it can be difficult. You've played D&D a lot, but this was just. It was just annoying. It just became so, and it did just become a problem. It grew to grate on me so much that I just didn't enjoy playing. So, and when you get to that stage, it's great. Because that seems the thing where it was, we'd have someone. We'd have someone just be almost like playing your character for you. It's like, if you want to play my character, you can play my character, but I'll come up with something else instead of you telling me how to play. That's happening. That's just. But that's what the issue. They just kept saying like, "Oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this?" And he just, wouldn't. It was one of those moments where it's just like, let me do what I'm doing, and you can tell me if you want to. If you feel like there might be a better idea, but just became way too annoying. But that's it. That's the extent that I could talk about D&D. God, I've had like other stuff like where just funnier stuff happen, but. Did see there was a person once who came to play Dungeons and Dragons, and then they came to play because they'd seen it being done on the Big Bang Theory, which fuck the Big Bang Theory in so many different ways. It's a shit show. And then when they realised it wasn't, they didn't played in the way that they do in the Big Bang Theory, because the Big Bang Theory has no fucking clue as to what they're talking about. They decided they decided to stop. Just like, right. So you came because you thought this thing was sort of... It made me kind of think about like other sort of jobs and stuff. Must get really annoyed with how movies and TV shows present like their jobs, things like that. Like with CSI, like CSI is like the furthest possible thing from the actual job. It is treated as if like, oh yeah, this is totally what happens. I do love how the D&D as a whole though, getting more sort of recognition as like being, because I would say this is I'm a person who has sort of issues with social anxiety and socializing and kind of had, but going to play D&D is really good for that. And you might, and some of D&D might not work in the same way. So like we do sort of randomized tables, stuff like that, and get all set out just due to the nature of how we run. But being able to like constantly talk to other people and just engage is really fun and interesting. It's not something I would normally do. I'd be more worried about that if it wasn't an Angie attacking my... And Angies do very little damage, so it's going to take a long time just to destroy that system. And I'll send the Mantis in to go and prevent it, but it's kind of pointless for him to keep attacking. The Angie will die way quicker than that Mantis will. And I do think D&D is great for like socializing, because you have a shared goal. So the idea is that you're meant to work together. If you are not working together with your group, then you got problems, which is an issue. It's often what pops up in the RPG horror stories, actually. Someone deciding, I should be the center of attention. No. Not the center of attention. Not even slightly. I need to add some extra. I do think it's good for that. I do think it's good for engaging with the people. Usually, obviously, the people you're playing with, the people who share interests, stuff like that. So it's really good. It was funny though that like I had a ex-girlfriend who played D&D alongside, and she always kind of complained about the fact that we did this randomized table sort of thing, and she was saying, "Oh, I'm never playing with the same people each week, and it's really annoying." She's like, and she was a bit more sort of socially anxious than I was, because I'm usually just sometimes I get anxious about stuff. Sometimes I'm just utterly socially oblivious, and thus I don't worry about things. But she didn't realize if we did the sort of randomized system. But what was funny was we ended up playing through the entirety of a module. Oh shh! I didn't pay attention to the missiles. I'm surprised being upside down. Yeah, I'm just gonna run. I can't fight that ship. I have no missiles. Get this guy first. but basically she didn't like the randomized system, and then so we ended up playing a full module in store because it had just been released and because there was no Adventure League stuff for the module, at least there was only a small amount. Shit. And after a while, she got annoyed because the table she was with, the group of people she got sat with, she played every single week, were extraordinarily indecisive and couldn't make, and just had so many problems in that regard. Like, there wasn't really anyone leading it. It became a very sort of like everyone sort of back and forth saying, "Oh, we could do this, could do this, could do this," and it's just that becomes a problem. So in fact, I did find that fun. I found that kind of ironic. I need some missiles. To increase without paying the major prices. Leave it. What I need is like a flat cannon or a heavy laser, something in that regard. Actually, not the heavy laser. Shot pad charge. The flat cannon, though, that would be useful because that will crack through shields. So let's just get this out. British Santa Claus Master Ship armor. I don't really care about that. No, I care about the flat cannon. Yeah, keep everything else as. You definitely buy those. Chip load. Black Cannon is solidly powerful weapon, and I'm very happy to have it. I do just find it funny, you know. That story is a very sort of be careful what you wish for. I just get it. Flat cannon's a bit of an interesting weapon. It basically you don't sort of target it like say the other ones do. You sort of put it in an area and then it'll fire a bunch of shots and hopefully they hit. Oh, they've got freaking mind control. See, the good thing is the problem is I still need something like some sort of laser system. What I need to do is switch those around because the great thing is the Zoltans, with every room they're in, they power equipment. So basically, if you have two of them in a room, if you have two in the shield room, they will constantly power the shield, no matter what. This one doesn't get frickin' mind controlled and start fighting the other one. There we go. The issue is, I need something. I need like a small burst laser or something like that, just something that can pepper the shields. That's break. No problem I'm having. God, man, I might put him in there and with that, so at least then my shields will constantly be used. It's gonna be active. Hit with ions, which is good. I did really love playing it. I still do. I still like the operation aspect of it, and I'll do all the other stuff. It's funny because there used to be in 4th edition, Wizard of the Coast released like an app, and this was like early, way before like D&D Beyond, so years ago. Well, it's good sort of 6 years ago essentially. And it basically had like it was a subscription app. You had to pay, you you pay for it, and then you could go onto it and add every single bit of information, essentially, like every bit of every book from 4th edition, and add all the the rules, all the various like stuff you could build, things like that. It was really good because it essentially meant you could build absolutely anything whilst having. It's gonna be another delay. Okay, that's good. Delay that. No, I need to. God, it's one of those rounds where I spent less time talking. But it basically gave you access to everything, like everything and anything you could possibly use 4th edition, and that was a really good way of doing it. Like, it was just one solid sort of repository of information. Whereas to now, where you've got D&D Beyond, which I don't really care for, because it's basically like, oh, you've bought the book, you bought the books once, and now you have to buy them again because we have no way to actually show that you bought them, which I think is really shitty. Especially in this, for the early stages of this. Like I can understand having like it as a digital thing and having the information, but the fact that there's no way at all to say, well, I already own the books, can I not have access to the information online? And they're just trying to basically do the Nintendo route of having people paying for the same stuff multiple times. It's not great. But from what I've heard, some various stuff, like with what Wizard of the Coast tried to do with D&D, it ain't great. Like, just they have heavily monetized the experience if you're trying to get into. So share no domain for the investors who touch you out. Let's try to. Yeah, it's Parrot Ambush. But that is the issue. Like, from what I've heard, it's that basically overall Wizard of the Coast have really tried to push the monetary aspect, so that you'll have paid games where only they're only allowed to run them and stuff like that, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. It's just, I don't know. Because I get, obviously, with D&D that it's very, it's very much a thing of like, you buy something once and that's it, and that's the problem in a way with it. But they don't. If they brought back like a subscription thing where you could where you could say, okay, well, yeah, if you pay this, you have access to this information, and that's it. Like that probably worked fine for them in the past. So why it doesn't work for them now, bit of a question. Yeah, it's not great. Oh, God. I'm not gonna. There is no part of me at the moment that wants to try and repurchase information I pay. And this thing is pay almost the exact same amount for. Did I was in trouble already. It's not surprising in a way that I'm not gonna pay the same. I think almost the same amount to rebuy the books I already have. And to use an app that if it ever goes down or anything like that, I can't access it. It's, you know what I mean? It's that sort of it's the as a service model. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good idea. Information you can only access if you're online is always a bad idea. I always feel like stuff like that. It's like when the Xbox said they were going to, early on, they said, oh, we're going to do online only. Like, you're going to have to be online if you want to play. And it's like, no one wants that. No, nobody wants that at all. It was then, I forget what they blamed that choice on later. Colonized moon host scan show has been abandoned. You'll have to abandon the space station if you can. I think it was the DRM stuff that they tried to then blame it on and say, oh well, if we'd had always online, we wouldn't have to have this stuff. I cannot remember. It's so fucking long at this point. And then just any company that sort of moves to a to a service model, like sort of, you know, you have to constantly pay. It's always a problem. Like with Adobe as well. If you want to use stuff like Premiere Pro, Photoshop, any of that stuff, you now have to pay a subscription, and you can't just at least I don't think you can. I haven't seen that. You can't just buy the software. You can't anymore. They've just stopped. Instead, you have to pay a month. It's kind of crappy. Just the aftermath of what seems to have been a brutal exchange between several ships. Drifts, screens, you can still remains of the dying ship sparking. We break apart. I'll determine who the combatants were. Close investigation. Investigate. Oh. Every time. But that's the issue though. I've still got CS6, my Adobe software, so I can still run stuff. I can still edit things if I want to, do any other things. But the thought of paying a monthly subscription fee to use that stuff is insane to me. It remains insane. I get it from the standpoint of business and how it works. Obviously, you know, if it's something people only buy once and then don't use, that there's a limit in a way, so profitability wise, but it's still such a shitty system. Wherever the beacon located, civilian star system, a nearby colony contacts you. Got a rogue rebel ship harassing the system. Do you have time to find it? Yeah, sure. Try. In the outpost. Strong enough weapons, we can deal with these guys. Lords. Okay, back for a little bit. Speaking though of editing, I have been trying the last couple of days to work on old video content, talk about TV shows, stuff like that. It's still I still can't work up the enthusiasm to do it. I still am doing little bits, but I don't know. I just keep it's like getting writer's block. I did discover at least that the sort of 16-page script that I thought I had was actually a lot less, because the writing it on Final Draft For some reason, the formatting was weird and did the thing it sometimes does. So suddenly it went from like 16 pages of still not having really talked about the show and just the intro to the show down to 11. And I am thinking that like I'm still gonna keep trying to write it and trying to finish it. This other video, I just need to really think about it. I still think it's good. I still think it's interesting. I just think the confidence there is not quite as strong, which is the issue. What about? I would sell. I need to. The issue I probably still have with some of my writing with the video stuff is that I tend to. I think I have a habit of saying too much, which I think is part of the problem. I will just keep going and like. I think I need to keep the adage of brevity is the soul of wit. Don't need to keep. I don't need to explain every single little minute detail. I can explain everything briefly and it will fine. And there is some hilarious stuff as well, and the bit I was writing. That I'm writing on, so like I couldn't find the wit. They do want to get back to making it. I did. It was another thing. Like I really enjoy. I really enjoyed watching these absolute craptacular TV shows and movies. Some of them are made intended for kids, or the one that I've been talking about was intended for an older male audience, which I really did not find. Any audience that was actual wrong. I do think that's the thought. I need to. If I can focus on keeping it very controlled, so that's the best idea I can do. That member of the rock race is going to die in the middle of this ship. You've got a lot of health, but. And dead. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think if I start writing again, and stuff, just go through it and go, okay, well, how can I collapse this, and how can I collapse it? Funniest thing possible. It's to me. It's quite interesting when the mission has it's like, oh, they must have the alternate shield bypass, but they don't have a teleporter on this ship. So how the hell did they do it? I think part of the reason I've been like thinking so much about trying to get back into doing like the video content, talking about stuff. I've been watching a lot of Todd in the Shadows videos, and he has like multiple like little mini sort of series he does outside of his normal reviews of reviewing pop music. And the one I keep watching at the moment is his One Hit Wonderland, where he talks about art, as he says, bands and artists known for only one song, and that has been really interesting to sort of watch through and see all these weird, strange acts that have come through, been popular briefly, disappeared. I'm gonna grab all of these people. I don't have enough to grab that person. That's a problem. No, I don't have the time to jump away and come back. I need fully paying attention. But the funny thing is that watching this video is like he is always really like it's not like 20 odd minutes, it's somewhere between like 12-20 minutes, but he does it so well, and he just talks about it and breaks everything down and sort of gives out all this information. You learn so much in a short span of time, and I feel like that's the thing I kind of want to emulate in my own head. I just think it works. It's just such a good system. And then, because some of the shows like that get made only last for one season and then disappear into the ether. And the one that I've been writing the video on a little while is one of those kind of shows. I had one season, and that was it. And the story around it's kind of hilarious in just some of the stuff that, like some of the stuff that happened around it, and then you have this sort of series where just nothing really happened, and it was trying to be one thing, but it didn't seem to, and there are other issues, and it's just it is a fascinating story. Like I just, I want to save it. I want to get the sort of the video stuff done because I want to be able to tell the story in full and like clear and sort of explain all these bits and pieces. So that's the sort of thought of it. They should not be. No one's doing that? Nope. Where's the... Oh, none of them have been in the shelter. That's fine. But listen, like, I do really want to get back to just talking about these insane shows that sort of question like how did they get made? Who was saying this is a good idea, and really not. I could jump, but I really don't want to do the jump while these guys are attacking. Where my guys are now is kind of like the safest place they could be. These rocks, yep, they're all gonna die. There we go. Doors let the air flow through till everyone went back to their positions. Yeah. Tyas Tyas out of invaders, now seeing the second one. Best thing as well. I just kind of know that if I can I feel like if I can get it right, if I can just sort of piece it together and get, you know, I guess because that moment is sort of like one big break in a way. Like that's the thing I feel like I can do. It's too insane, the sort of thing, and to talk about. The thing is, there's probably not a lot of shows that really only really ran for like a single season that are really bad. Like, a couple of them, but it's probably, although there's some animated ones, I'm sure. I mean, there's that Batman series that replaced the Green Lantern series that only ran for one season. Nice. Actually, stronger for shields as well. So that's pretty. Actually, nope. Nobody nopes. Nope. I forgot the Zoltan's still doing the piloting. That is how it needs to be. Zoltan doing the piloting is no good. It is useless. Wastes energy ability. That's the thing, though. I'm sure there's so many sort of like other animated shows and stuff like that just exist. I'm not talking like anime. I mean like Western animation, because I know there are a lot of anime series that only last for one season because that's just kind of how they tend to work. Like unless an anime is super popular, they'll only really ever get one season. And that's sort of the issue. But Western animation tends to be, you know, shows will tend to get like at least like potentially a couple of seasons. Some shows you question why they got multiple seasons. Truly the most interesting of topics. They'd kind of love to be able to try and get my hands on stuff like something talk about all grown up and stuff like that. The sort of shows where you was like, who was this sort of made for? Like, who was asking for a series focusing on the kids from the Rugrats when they were older? To say it's those baffling sort of moments where you just you kind of you want to ask because you really want to know. I remember to a degree like kind of enjoying the old grown up series, but it definitely wasn't great. It was definitely a series that was trying to, I don't know, or maybe it was to a degree trying to justify its own existence. And no one really asking for that. And then I know they did. They see it pop up on like forgotten, forgotten TV show lists stuff like that. They did a thing set before the Rugrats, which was about Angelica and Susie in preschool, so that, and it's sort of a moment you go like, why? why have that series? Why does that series need to be told? Such a just, but it's just something like you talk about this stuff and you just does seem like the sort of stuff that would be interesting. You break down and sort of talk about and try and understand, like, okay, well, what were they trying to do? What did they manage to do it? I mean, usually the answer is no. It's just interesting stuff. part of just everyone. Is there a sale? Is there a Super Zoltan Shield sale? Oh right, they're there. Okay, I'm just gonna do that same thing I did last time. So did this and just did there, and then I'll vent every single room. Hope they enjoy a lack of oxygen. It turns out that those enemies that drain the oxygen out of a room. There we go. I know. I do think like doing these video stuff has helped though. Streaming and stuff. Because it just it gets me back in that sort of schedule, doing all this stuff, and, making content and getting people interested and sort of talking, and it's good. It is good for me. Yeah, I might just take the heavy laser just because I'm gonna be in a situation soon where I'm gonna have to deal with stronger ship shields. Beam will not be able to get through them, but a heavy laser will definitely be able. There's just other stuff as well, like the other sort of kid show related media, like stuff like the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That I kind of want to talk about and just like go over and sort of look back over all this old stuff. That's, just questioning. Was it good? Was it? Because I could talk for a solid hour about Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I've watched through the entirety of that series multiple times since getting it on DVD. Say this, it doesn't hold up. First couple seasons do. Just cut off the rails. So yeah, this is exactly the issue I thought I might be about to commit. I don't even know if I'll actually even be able to cause any damage. I actually don't think I can. They've got 2 defense lasers. Let's just see. No, I actually won't be able to do any damage. At all. And I'm going to have to wait. I'm actually going to have to wait this out. I'm going to have to wait for their FTL to charge and them to leave because they disabled my goddamn engines. So this, depending on how powerful they are, this might kill me. There's a chance I'm gonna kiss. Actually, no, because I can't. I actually can't do anything. It's this is gonna be me getting killed. Yeah, and I've got nothing on my shields either. They just truly have just disabled the entirety of my ship. If you guys at any point would like to hurry up with the fucking FTL. I don't have the increased sensors, so I can't see what power they've got. Yeah, this will... If their FTL doesn't charge up and they don't jump off soon, they will murder me, because I can't do anything. I don't have the weaponry, I don't have the capabilities. But they've got 2 separate defense drones, one of which is stronger than the other, but it's moving so quickly. I've got literally nothing I can do. Like even if I had drones of my own, I couldn't do anything against them because they've got a drone defense and anti-drone weapons. So yeah, the best I can do is just keep trying to repair my ship and hope that they jump. There we go. Couldn't do anything against that ship. That was insane. I do think as well with making video content, just one of the issues has just been that I've just kind of, to a degree, I've just sort of lost the passion for doing it. It's part of the problem. Like I'm really happy doing this and streaming and playing games and stuff. It's fun, but I don't know, when it comes to actually making video content, I really don't feel the drive in the same sort of way. Part of the problem. Like in my head, still want to do it. The rest of me is like, that's the prep. Ion charger. Double times. That wouldn't be too bad. Probably start to put some points into my that actually might be better. Small bomb. Self-defense plus damage to sister's crew, but not the whole target your ship. That actually is probably the best thing. It's relatively requires no power. Requires little or no power to actually run. Still requires the missiles, but say that. That hit smart bombs. So I actually can run a relatively key setup. Too bad. That. So that. Anything needs upgrading. Great, right? Those around. I don't know why but the passion for making the videos and stuff. And I think partly it's slightly mental health related. Because once I started to get more of my sort of mental health stuff sorted out, I was streaming again, it's helped, and it's lots of other good stuff. It's fine, I don't even need to use the more powerful stuff. All I need to do is wait. So this is the trick I'm gonna do. Oh no, wait. So tell it to fire. It goes, hits that, and then you provide. You get hit way more. Leave out. God, man, I actually don't know about idea to try smart bomb. Try and repair go 2. Okay, man, might be. There we go. Okay, let's. It's a token. We can save this somewhat. Just need to repair the O2, right? O2 is repaired, that's good. Start trying to save ourselves. Just need to open up the doors to be stored. I do want to. I do still feel like I want to get back to making content. I just think it's just actually getting the confidence and the spirit of it. Which everything is why I'm kind of stuck trying to write the same over and over again. The problem. As you arrive, someone should attach from a rack chips away. You must return the sound operation. And weapons ready to be installed. Ooh, chain ion. Weapon you don't come across. Yeah, weapons ion damage increases each time. See, chain weapons are actually really interesting. I'm going to keep that as an option. Not bad. I just don't have the... I don't have the weapon capacity to actually effectively put it into the arsenal. Problem. Yeah. Hey, nice. Let's do that. Try and some of that. That is an issue, kind of. You really do need to put stuff into the weapons, because if you're only using a couple of weapons towards the later areas, you'll be in a bit of trouble. Right. This thing has absolutely nothing in terms of shields, so essentially, if I just start blasting it... So anyway, I came out blasting. Something with no shields should just get absolutely wrecked by the help of beam. Yeah, there we go. Legit. I still haven't made a decision on what game I'm going to pick up to like long form stream next. I am thinking about it, but I just don't know. Part of me wants to like buy something new, but then there's a whole bunch of games I'm just like I have not played. We could play them. I've got Far Cry 6 I've not played. I've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla that I've not played. So some obvious potential openings there. Because this just makes it easier. Okay, cover that. Let's that. There we go. Okay, lovely. We didn't take the hit for that. Ooh, hello. Man, they beat that haste to a treat. Okay, yeah, so yeah, the that combination actually is working quite nicely for it. I like the fact I got a stealth weapon mod, which utterly useless on this ship currently. Right, I trade out Leto for the chain. A better thought here. Okay. It's either get rid of the heavy laser or get rid of smart bombs. I guess the heavy laser is not really useful at the moment. Like, it fires off the one shot, which is good, but it's only firing one shot. Whereas the chain ion will fire off one shot. Let's get it powered up. Yeah, keep having aim. It's I'm in the chain ion. Oh, is it now? Is it going to try and run? That's what it's going to do. That would be. These folks we're running a little low. I am really I need to not stop paying attention. I need to stop not paying attention. So. So it should be okay. Just need to wait for them to finish charging back up. I know. I need to go through it. One thing I could do, which actually would be interesting, is I might look at playing the Uncharted series, because I have not played that at all, and it would be interesting to play that having never touched the actual game, never touched that franchise. That might be an idea, and it would be also a little bit different, and then I could, go from one to the other to the other. I could just keep playing them. Charge that back up and make sure it's ready. I've not used it. Yeah, so that might be what I do. So I'm kind of it's something a little bit different, because that's kind of what I want to do. If between various streams, I want it to be a thing where I can go, okay, well I'm going to play this game and of this genre, and I can go to this genre, and just move about as I want to. I don't want to just. But I can understand why people stream just the same game over and over again, but I just in my head, that is not something I want to do, and not something I intend to do. I never told that to fire. Let's go for the bitch. Ouch. That's what I was trying to avoid, but I just left it too long. Systems. Need to keep him from. I have no. I went from there, put it into there. Blasted from all sides. Yep. Shield back. There's 3 kill them. It's gonna completely destroy my weapon system. No, working backwards. But yeah, but I think I will start streaming Uncharted, and I'll run through that in a game that entire series of games that I'm interested to play. Because I'd be tempted to do Far Cry 6 if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, I just spent a fair few streams playing Deathloop, so I feel like I'd be just playing a very similar game with being first-person shooter and all that sort of stuff. Or is it? I know, obviously, Uncharted is a third-person shooter, entirely different. Oh. I did have enough power to do the chain ion. You know? Still use them together though. Chain ion will begin to weaken down their shield, and Alpha Beam can just have a field day. There we go. I need the chain ion. Just keep firing, keep knocking out that shield. Don't knocks out the shield, and for the Alpha Beam to fire. Given how powerful it becomes, it does 4 shots of 4 iron shots completely will take out at least 2 levels of shield. I actually won't be able to get to the oh no, I can, yeah, I can top through the nebula. Okay, let's go to distress. Let's see. Natural person in distress, or someone lying. I was joining your crew. Oh, nice. That's actually useful because the guy is actually good for that. Also gives us more energy, so really useful all around. Down to the store. Let's put it together. Okay, we got flag cannon, we got chain iron here as well. There's charge muck. I'm not a fan of the laser charger. I'm not really a big fan of it. Flag and muck 1 has 2 power, so I have to upgrade either that or I'm just trying to think. It wouldn't be terrible. I can get rid of stealth weapons though, using the stealth weapon. Use the Lito anymore. So that. Just thinking that having the black cannon would be useful to disable the shields early. You can fire off 3 shots, so it's potentially going to absolutely wreck them. Could keep it active and have it working alongside thing. Yeah. Okay, I think there's enough. In my head, there's enough thoughts to it. But we'll just switch out probably the heavy laser, because the heavy lasers, yeah, don't have much difference. And heavy laser, can't buy anything else. It's fine. I probably should add a little bit of extra power to some of the other areas of the ship. True though. Sure. Increase. Okay. I'll find what I. It's the helmet. Strong. Let's get the fuel supply. Too worried about here, and my weapons are still active. The only issue is the mine. Oxygen. It's currently inactive. I don't really want to send anyone out to deal with it. Should be able to up and running. Okay, I'm gonna have to okay. It's the other good thing of having the Zoltons. I can power up stuff even when I have nothing. That's the weapon that I kind of would like to have in the game. Because that's I think it's the Mark III burst laser, I think it is. It fires off 5 shots. And you have that combined with the automated reloader and the like a powerful gunner. It's absolutely lethal. Time for the chain laser to do its magic. One thing I was the worst possible thing. Hacking. I hope it can build up. I have the smart bomb, so maybe I might try and use that just to knock out the hack. You done? The hacking will cause problems. Okay, hacking. I'm trying to use the smart bomb stuff just to disable it a little. Disable the weapons somewhat. Take an absolute. Oh, good lord. I'm going to do anything to the smart bomb fires. Do what I wanted it to do. That'll be a problem. Albert being done. Yeah. The one good thing is that the Zoltan crew is actually keeping the ship alive, so that's not too bad. Just need fire and some damage. There we go. How the hell did I survive that? And I investigate the station for nothing. Nothing. Absolutely useless. That's a large amount of damage to the ship. Very little of anything. But that is the way of this game. Sometimes you just make choices. I'm just gonna check. Oh, where you should be. Place. The issue is when you send them away and you bring them back to the thing. Out. All shuffled around so you don't fully know people are standing in the correct spots. So little shit. Actually, yeah, just wait. Use the same tactics I have been using. The hell be? Yeah, so they can't. They wouldn't normally. Yeah, they're people grass. They would normally do that, but they couldn't do it until they got rid of my shield. Nah, I can more scrap out of the ship by breaking the crap out of it. Stop to those guys. Drive them out there. Of course they did. The door's down because they broke. Dangerous move. And basically had to keep one person in that room to keep being repaired, because if he'd left the room, then it would have stopped doing the repairs. So it wouldn't have solved the issue. Take the bribe to leave a bunch of pirates alone. Okay. Oh yeah, they've. No, I'd say to get rid of everything I can there from the weapon system upwards. I did end up been watching through Moon Knight, obviously on Disney Plus recently, and I've really been enjoying it. I think it's very quite an interesting sort of idea overall. It does make me want to possibly go and look like trying to pick up the original comics. Did find it funny at the end of the most recent episode where that was just I'm too used to just the general weirdness. The end of the new episode did not really confuse me at all. It also helped that my brain was just like, oh yeah, that isn't that this person? It's just like it'd be interesting to see where they go with it. I'm gonna use that, but max, so I can now fire every single weapon. I need to sort out my reactor. Oh, sure, I'm in a nebula, which I gotta admit, if I go up against the the main the boss, I don't think I'll live. The good thing is the flat cannon's pretty quick to fire, so good at hitting some of their stuff. It's an early. Early intruders? Okay. Jeez. Yeah, that's a breach missile they just tried to fire at me. Okay. Up. Closes. One is the med bay. Doing with the mantis attacks. No. Intruders? Nope. Got it. So I've been enjoying Moon Knight. I think it's an interesting series. Now, speaking of Marvel properties, ironic given I'm wearing a DC property shirt. I saw the Avengers have teased the new character they're going to be adding to the roster for the Avengers game, which is the Jane Foster Lady Thor. Mighty Thor? I know she has like a very specific title in comparison to everything else. I realized I could have. Well, to no point now. It was 2 hours in. I could have shifted my camera. I could have just shifted the camera up. I didn't think about it. It's not like you need to see the things. But they're adding her to the Marvel's Avengers game. I don't think it's going to really change anything for that game. I enjoyed playing that game, but it wasn't great. Like it wasn't the most engaging of games after a while, and like the grind element of it was just, and it just had like the loading time stuff like that. There was so much of an issue with it. Like, I wanted to like it. I wanted to really enjoy it, but I really just couldn't. So No issues with it. Okay, tattoo. I do agree as well, because people were saying and you know, adding the Jane Foster Thor version doesn't really add something new. It's kind of like with the Kate Bishop character being added. It's like, okay, well, you've just got to. Are they a new character? Are they going to be a new character, or are they just going to be like sort of a clone of the original character? It's a bit of a problem. But if they do something with her that makes her entirely unique as a character, I'll be fairly interested. But Rory is not going to be able to do a great deal. Is the problem? And we'll. I should go. I should. One thing I need to do is look at repair drone. Interesting. As I should like try topping on something. I need to download the update. Like I've still not done that update. Yeah, it would be interesting. I could get the drone control and I could actually do it as well. That'd be kind of funny if I did. But then I don't have a lot of power left for my ship, so yeah, I think I think I might as well buy the whole repair. Well, it's a pretty damage I've taken. Yeah. Back to near bank, don't need. Mr. Raspberries is really mad to me. We can teleport us mad. We just need just a couple of extra jumps. Yeah, whole bunch at the end anyway. So I should have a look at the. I should go and have a look at Avengers and see if it's changed at all, if it's improved. But the issue was just was it? Actually, that's probably is the thing I should look up. I should see if people still sort of complain on the loading time, stuff like that, because that did always seem to be like a major issue. I'm not always great with sort of like the games that was like quite a grind to them. Like on my phone at the moment, I play the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes game, and that has major sort of grind aesthetic now, where I've got a lot of various heroes, stuff like that in the game, but I need to power them up to be at all useful in the various sort of like competitive sections and co-operative bits, but it just requires so much to do it. You've just got to keep doing the same missions, keep trying to get a lot of equipment, and it's just a bit of a problem like that. Oh. That is a dangerous combination. That is a teleporting bomb, a heavy laser beam. I repeat it, that is, yeah, I do not want that actually being able to hit me at any point. So I will look to disable it. Wait for the next. Yeah, I'll take that. Finishes off that fight and gives us a heck of a lot of extra scrap. Can certainly go towards the reactor. Yep. Not only do we have a third shield, our ship has a good 40% evasion chance. Pretty solid at this point. To severely damage the ship is not always the easiest thing to do. But the usual trick I do is to basically blast the oxygen rooms to try to that would probably be a bad idea. That I won't mess with that about. Let's do that. Go. Actually relatively strong. Our concealable system causing hull damage weapons. 3. Charge time 4 seconds, shots per charge 1. Oh, I guess because it's a quicker attack. But the two things that I could switch it out with are not the things I switch it out with. Oh. It costs me 180 for a shield. That's happening. Won't at least. Let's wait to finish the pass. Okay. Let's jump to the exit before they get there. Oh yeah, they couldn't do it. I think I need to look at try and clean up my mouse because it's got a habit of occasionally. It doesn't do it all the time, but it does have a habit of double clicking when I don't tell it to. Powerful. That's I could add some to the dodge, which would be useful. Yeah. Make it so I got all of the dodge. Right, so I have to basically go. Let's try and chart the quickest routes. It's going to go there, which means it'll probably take this route along. So, okay, so I see the way I've got to go. Just figuring it out. Okay. Either way, it doesn't matter with what I target. It's just retargeting. The thing is, with the Black Cannon's speed now in comparison, the Chain Ion firing off and locking down their defenses. God damn it. And intruders? Come on, guys. Right. To leave it. The ship's more a priority right now than dealing with. Oh. that in time. Yeah, picking apart my ship bit by bit, aren't they? And then fire. Nope. Perfect, but it's because I'm going to do. I'm over for the oxygen just to the ship. To pad, and also give some more time for the O2, which is fill every time. I have foolishly either gotten close to or died on this game by just not paying attention to the O2. As the only thing as well is like if you just, because the issue is basically the Zoltan's filling it, it will. When it leaves, the power doesn't change back quick enough. It actually might have been okay. I actually want to go there, but we're going to divert to deal with other stuff. Flagship jumping, yeah, it's going the way I sort of expected it to go. That's fine. I can cut it off. Yeah, let's. Oh, good. Now the funny thing here is that if those drones fly in front of the Ion, they can get hit and disabled. Doesn't always happen, just a possibility. Okay. Didn't quite hit it in the time frame I was hoping it would. And I wish I had an Anangi to pairing stuff. That would be very, very useful. We do. Oh, there's upgrades to the engines. Seem to be doing good at least for raiding. Ready? Gotta wait. Gotta wait for the chain ion to fire off again. Good, go. Right, now if we can stop the rest of the ship from setting on fire, that would be really useful. Trying to get everybody in there at once. Do you wish I had the fire suppression system? That would be really useful. I gotta, we are not really getting out of these fights without a lot of damage, are we? That's definitely an issue. There is a thing you can get, but it's like a really rare item that gets added to your ship, which basically is the Medabots from the Anangi ship. So essentially what happens with that is that you are constantly being healed. Like very lightly, very small amount of heal, but you are constantly being healed, and it's very useful. and you can get it if you go through I think it's like to go through the Anengi sort of sectors, and you'll find someone and they'll say, "I was like, oh, can you give us this like a huge amount of stuff?" I think it's like 40 scrap and a bunch of other stuff. And if you do, they go, "Oh, well, thank you for this," and they'll give you the ability, which is actually it's really powerful. It's really useful because it means you don't have to worry as much. Right, I got exactly where I thought they were going to go. Yep, head in this direction. Exactly as I thought. So it's the same sort of issue where they've got some major power. Can do is hope that my flat cannon chain iron combination can damage it enough. Wait. Chain on fires. Missed. Do that because I can hit it. So good. Up. Room for a minute. Try and just kill them with the venting, or at least heavily wound. Okay, that's good. They've got right. That's good. They bug it off. I'm going to send those two to do the O2. I do really wish I had just one of the race in this game who were really good at repairs. Given that the final fire, this is like a multi-part thing where you got to basically go after the main ship like 3 times. I don't know how well I'm gonna do. Well, there's places to repair, but I really don't know how well I'm gonna be able to hold. Might be definitely there'll be a thought of trying to jump to a repair. Okay, yeah, I'll jump to the repair and use this first one because they're all around this area, so it's quite useful. And it gives me a whole bunch of other stuff as well, so it's actually good for that. Do you have enough technically if I do that? Let's go for it. Ship. Okay. So what I need to do is basically try and same tactics I've been doing. Now the great thing with this is it's a huge frigging ship, which means that the halberd beam should do a ridiculous amount of damage if I put it in the right spot, because halberd beam does 2 damage per room it hits. So if I can damage the shield, which is an entirely possible task, and their hacking has jumped onto the med bay of all things. Good. That's absolutely useless to me. I need to hit. Shield there. Needing to avoid the missiles if I can. I'm knocking out my chain lasers and chain irons, right? Uh, Alright. This isn't going too bad. That increase in the engine's doing good because it's keeping us alive. Not hitting us often, so that's pretty solid, at least that. Need to try and get rid of that. If I can just get rid of the tell you what might be a bit better actually. It's cannon J9 stay smart. Do that. Start trying to knock out the shield entirely. I see the issue with the thing. I know what I can do though. Try to direct it. It's weakening the shield, but it's not actually hitting it. No. Okay, now I'm gonna need to send two. Send him. Send him. Got a choice. If I don't, I'll die before you manage to kill him. Get that. You can see the room's on fire. It's not good. Do anything about it right now. I need a massive hit. I'll do it. There we go. Right. Shit. Oh, that's not good, is it? So focused on one thing, I wasn't focused on another. That's gonna have lost as our shield. No, anything else. I hate when that happens. So focused on one thing, I wasn't paying attention to the other. Why did the empty fall off the wall? He took his eyes up the price. Did make it through though. Somehow I did manage to survive. Wasn't sure. The issue is I don't think I can possibly. Don't think it's possible for me to actually really get any extra during this section. What? Oh, for fuck's sake! Right, I. Didn't realize it. I should have hit space, I should have paused, and I've not paid attention, and now I've lost a good amount of stuff. So that was that was actually probably potentially like an actual run that could have so the moment would have been the potential to actually be the victory, but instead I'm not gonna have to really think about it. So then back to there, that back to there, that back to there. Yeah, it's great. We don't have anyone else with shields, so we have 4 people, but at least it's 4 people who have somewhat experience. So, not perfect, not great. Lost a large amount of our additional capacity, power capacity, which weakened our overall setup. I've got no wrecking now. So I'd have to go there. I have to, basically. If I don't, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't, really, aren't I? Right, so it's the exact same issue. I want to basically get the same tactic, which is to try to focus fire on the shield and then use the halberd beam to tear them apart if I can. That was foolish. Not stab. Yeah, it's gonna. No, this is all going to hell. Try and back off. Shit, she is. We're gonna get torn apart entirely by the drones more than anything. I'm just. Yeah. The drones kicked in, I didn't have anything to do with them. So yeah. I think though I'm playing for about 2.5 hours. Yeah, that was a good attempt. That's actually the best I've done. For the while. Like a long while. I'll tell you what though, I will do one thing. I will play with the ship. That's my favourite and see if I can do that. Which I think was the Osprey. Or is it? Yeah, I think the original Osprey is the one I actually have done it with. Oh no, Type B normal. The other one I've done it with? Oh no, that was Type B normal. That was Type B easy. Wow, I really just man, I sort of softballed that one. Where is this? Oh, as you know, it might have been it's the Kestrel B is the one I did it on originally. So let's just we'll do a run through of this. Because the fun thing with this is basically just that you are just insane with this one. I do love this ship. It's just essentially, if you start a fight with anybody, you just open fire, and you can do it so quickly and so powerfully. This should not take long. This is the fun thing as well. Like you can, you've got 4 different lasers. You can just begin to wreak havoc. And that's the thing. If I can, that's where you want to get stuff like the burst laser Mark IIIs and stuff like that, because the burst laser Mark III fires off 5 shots at once, and it's just devastating. I think the one of the best ones I did on this game was I essentially had I think I had a burst laser Mark V and the chain version of the laser, and it was just insanity because by the time I got towards the end, the gunner was so solidly trained, and I had the extras for reload, so they were just opening fire like immediately and destroying. Oh, gee. Right, there we go. Shield operator's doing what he can, but it's a bit of a problem. Because that is the one trick. Like, if you've got a slow firing weapon, your gunner will not gain much experience. If you've got a quick firing weapon, your gunner will gain experience every time it fires. So that's the thing with the Mark B for the Kestrel, that you'll just get a huge amount of experience. No time at all. which I think is the actual issue with the. I think I'm struggling with the Sultan cruiser that I was using because it's the halberd beam is such a slow firing weapon. You don't gain much. The gun doesn't gain much experience, so you don't. It takes a long time before you get to the. You can get enough to have it fire quicker, which is the problem. And also, actually, I've noticed that even when you do get that, it doesn't fire that much quicker. Like, it knocks off an amount, which I can't remember how much it is. Yeah, it was manned is 10% faster. I think it's once you get up to the higher levels, it's like 20%. But it's not. Alright, check out the quest. Don't I know you? Sure, there is something more you can do in that quest, but every time I've encountered it, it always sort of says, "Oh, you can't really do anything." This is kind of just like a speed run now, really, with this. Oh, actually, that's both beam weapons. I think they are, yeah. So actually, so if I wanted to, I could just sit here for ages because the two beams can't burst through. Well, unless the one they've got on their ship is actually a something more powerful. But I doubt it. Stage. Yeah, the full damage. I was just thinking, it's like, oh, I don't know if I'll find the store. I need to bother with repairing the hull damage. Okay. Cannon battery. Fire in a moment. Okay, let's store. Nothing really of use. No, the stuff that I want. These. Lifeline scanner actually might be kind of useful, so I'm going to take it. None of the others would be. Let's boost the reactor a little bit. Give them a little bit of extra power to the engines. So those two to do the repairs. Most time I don't think you really need to have the med bay active. Because unless there's someone in the room, you really don't need it. So it does feel better just to use that power for other stuff. It does kind of show, I feel like, the speed of which I'm sort of dealing with stuff on this one in comparison to the other. Have a listen to that a little. Almost. I've got to admit, actually, the only reason to have the medbay active is if you have the nanobot stuff. Otherwise, what in the goddamn world? 3 heavy cannons and an ion? Okay, we need to take that down. We need to take that down and fast. I need to wait for them all to charge because that's the issue that I was about to hit. Was the fear? Jesus Christ. Kind of backwards. I cannot hit it. I can't hit the... Oh, it's gonna... Nope, I've got other than that is insanely powerful. My guys can't hit it in yet, so it's... Yeah, I'm just gonna let this play out. Yeah, there was a fire, they breached. Yeah, I just... Wow. That is, that's insane. That is insanely powerful to fight early on. Jesus. Okay. I think that would be it. That's that absolute destruction of me. Probably about right. So, I will be back on Tuesday when I'm going to start playing. I'll start playing Uncharted. I'll make sure everything's set up right for that because I don't even know if I've taken it out of the box. I really don't think I did. I might have done initially because I think I installed every game that I have on the PS4. Or did I only install... I'll have to have a look. I really can't remember. I bought the PS4 basically to play Spider-Man. That was it. And I was like, oh, well, God of War's pretty fun. I'll get that as well. And I got a couple of other games and I'm just like, oh, I haven't played those. Uncharted, the Uncharted series, because I got it as the collection when that came out, is one of those that I've just not played. That'd be kind of cool just to go through all of Uncharted, see how that goes, and see how far that takes me. Probably play that for a while. But yeah, so I'll be back on Tuesday. Start playing that. So hopefully you enjoy your weekend and getting up to whatever. I just got a new Kickstarter board game delivered, so I might look at playing that myself at some point over the weekend. But I've got other stuff I need to do, as there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah, so thanks for watching. So sticking with me through this, and I'll probably play FTL again at some point. Maybe if I feel like I need a break between games or something, because I do like doing these stuff. I've got other ones I could do. Like I still never finished off the 32 heat run of Hades. Still was not able to complete that. So that probably need to look back into doing, but I did question about doing it today because I knew I was going to play a roguelike game, but I wasn't sure which. I think if I do that, I will probably practice a little first because Hades, I'll need to get back to just playing it. But yeah. But I could go on, and I do. So instead, see you Tuesday. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching.